Get a bit of gas here. Oof, this thing sounds nice. And the brakes, wow, the brakes are even more amazing. My God. Good morning, welcome back to Peter's Autovlog. This is Peter. Today we're going to get behind the wheel of this awesome pre-owned 2021 Ford Mustang Mach 1. Now, as you can see, this one here does not look like a stock Mustang Mach 1. Quite a bit different with wheels and a little bit different modifications, and that's the reason I want to kind of intrigue you to see what this one had, and I wanted to give you a quick test drive, guys, and see what this Mustang is all about. Before we go on, big thank you to Bartow Ford for allowing me some time with this Ford Mustang Mach 1. Big thank you to my friend Tim, and I'm going to put all their information and a link to their website in the description below. And ladies and gentlemen, here we have this 2021 Ford Mustang Mach 1. Now, as I mentioned, this one here is pre-owned. It has just over 19,000 miles on it, so pretty much a brand new Mustang. Now, the reason I wanted to bring you this one here, do a quick review on it, and actually more of a test drive to see what modifications have been done to this Mustang, because it looks fantastic, especially with its aftermarket wheels. We got an aftermarket hood. But before, it's a little bit quick of reference of the Mustang Mach 1. I have reviewed the Mustang Mach 1 before on my channel. I did the 6-speed manual one and a 10-speed manual, the automatic one as well. If you want to browse my channel and check those reviews out to get a full review of them, I'll also put the links probably on the bottom of the description there for you as well. But a quick overall of the Ford Mustang Mach 1. Of course, this one here is the S550. The Mustang Mach 1, basically the more performance version of the prior generation Mustang, with the 5-liter Coyote V8 with about 480 horsepower. You had basically parts from the Ford Mustang GT350 and the GT500. We have front and rear subframes that came into this Mustang Mach 1 from those cars with different suspension. You also have, oil coolers, transmission coolers, differential coolers, depending on the 10-speed or the manual one. Now you had the option to get a handling package, which was about $3,500. Now this one was not equipped with it, because I saw the original sticker of this car. This one was not optional with that option, but I guess because obviously the owner was going to do an aftermarket suspension as this one has. So this Mustang looks fantastic, and if I were to do a build on a Mustang for handling, this is probably the way I would go. It looks really good, especially in this Oxford white that this car is in. Let's go ahead and check out what this is, guys, here, what this has. So coming up front, as you can see, we have the extended front lower lip here, which is part of the handling package, if I'm correct. It looks really very similar to that. I guess he must have added aftermarket. You can see we got the front grille of this Mach 1s. We got the lights and all this works. So it looks really, really good, especially that it's lowered. Now this one here does have an aftermarket hood, which I have been embarrassed not to be able to open. I have tried every way. I spent about 20 minutes and I cannot find a way to open it. So I don't want to, mess it up or break it, but it is an aftermarket hood. As you can see, we got some louvers here. As you can see, that's great. There it is, functional hood, as you can see there. And of course, under the hood of this Mach 1, we got a 5-liter Coyote V8. I'll put an image over you guys, or some video if I can find it, of this wonderful V8. It does look like it does have an aftermarket intake. I can hear it, but I can't show you what that is, guys. If I find a picture of it, I'll put it up. But this engine's come with 480 horsepower and 420 pound-feet of torque. Of course, this is going through the 6-speed manual transmission that this Mustang was, the Triumph 6-speed. This engine, of course, come with oil cooler, transmission cooler, and a differential cooler. That's what I put in for you guys. This is basically what the options came with this Mach 1. So they were upgraded the cooling, of course, if you're going to take it to track and all that. This is basically what it was made for. So fantastic engine, guys. I apologize I cannot open, but it's a great engine overall. Coming here to the side, you can see, guys, here we have this look of this Mustang here. Coming to the wheels, we got a aftermarket Vaughan wheels. These are 20-inch wheels in the front. Basically, we got a 275 millimeter tire. These are Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's all around. 275 in the front, 315s in the rear. So we got a lot of mechanical grip on this car. Now, as I mentioned, this suspension is lowered. I can't see what type of suspension it is, but it is definitely a low aftermarket suspension. And this has got also aftermarket sway bars in the front and rear. I see the blue sway bars in the back as far as I can peek into the suspension. So it definitely it's got a lower suspension. I can't tell which one it is, guys, so I apologize. But if the owner sometimes, so the former owner sees this video, hopefully he can shine in what has been done in terms of suspension. But I know it is lowered than just the wheel setup, and of course it must have quite a bit of different suspension on it in terms of that. But Heading back to the rims, guys, you can see we got the Brembo. These are stock Brembo calipers. These are painted red from the factory. We got aftermarket slotted rotors. These are two-piece rotors here in the front, vented. Really looks fantastic. You want to have that good braking power for, you know, this fast car on the road course. So really good the way that looks. You can see we got some lower graphics. We got the lower panels here on the side. You see the Mach 1, the black mirror here. Really looks well. I'm glad they didn't tint the windows, which really looks good. The back here, real quick, we got the 20-inch wheel. 315s in the back here, single piston caliper, but we also have a slotted rotor here in the back. As you can see, they also did some modifications. We also got stainless steel brake lines as well, so I can see them there. But we have blue springs and also this way where you can kind of speak through there. But yeah, this is definitely set up for track, more of a road course instead of a drag strip or something like that. But fantastic tires overall as well. Now, as you can see here, we have the wing from the handling package, which looks fantastic. We got that gurney flip right here in the very back. So awesome wing for push for downforce. Come here to the back, we got the same taillights. We got the Mach 1 badge. We got this most likely might have an aftermarket exhaust. I can't tell, guys, but they'll definitely look bigger than stock tailpipes. Reverse light, and you can see we got the really nice balance, or the rear diffuser. You can see this looks fantastic the way it's lowered, the way it is. Somebody did. I'd take my hats off to the former owner because he definitely spent some money into this. Are easily $3,000-$4,000 for the wheels, and probably at least a couple of grand for the tires, for the Michelin tires. Let alone the suspension is worth, could be $2,000-$3,000 for suspension, the stainless steel brake lines, and whatever not was put into this car. But overall, a fantastic looking Mach 1. Hope you guys you know, like the way it was done. I like it the way this is, and it's probably one of the best Mustangs I've seen myself, especially set up this way. Just a quick peek at the trunk. Let's go and take a look. As you can see, guys, we got the LED tail lights, and just opening up, we got a reverse camera. This is still got the regular stuff. As you can see, that big wing here with the gurney flap, which really looks awesome. Come here, you can see we got the trunk. We got about 13 cubic feet of space here in the back, if I'm correct. We've got some floor mats, and of course we got no spare tire on this one because there's no way you're gonna fit a 20-inch wheel in the back here. But we do have a compressor there and probably a tire repair kit as well. But that's about it, guys. Nothing else in the back here. As you can see there, no bag and olufsen system because we don't have a subwoofer in the back here at all here, so that was not equipped with it. But there we go, guys. You can see, and the seats do fold down as well, as you can see there in this Mustang Mach 1. But there we go, guys. Let's go ahead and close this trunk and head up front. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get inside of this Mustang Mach 1. A little bit windy today. Sorry if you hear a little bit of wind noise, but checking out the interior, guys. Of course, this interior is not as up to par as the new Mustang, as the new S650. A lot of still hard plastic, but that's the way it is. But who cares when you have such good performance and Recaro seats as well. As you can see, we got the Mach 1 badge right here on the door sill, and of course these are manual seats. They're not powered at all, so that's great. Just saving a little bit of weight with that motor not being there. Manual tilt and telescoping steering wheel. We got control lights, of course, a little bit of dash, leather steering wheel, and a 6-speed manual traffic right there. As you can see, guys, pretty awesome the way. This is pretty simple, but now these cars are awesome. They're pretty tight. They're pretty snug into your butt. I'm no lightweight, so definitely a little bit snug, but they do feel great and do hold you up much better than the stock seats in the curves, of course, the way it is. But all right, let's go ahead and drop in. And ladies and gentlemen, here we are inside of this Mustang Mach 1. You can see we're inside of the older prior generation S550 Mustang, which is not a bad interior. It is more plasticky. We got a nice 12-inch digital screen, 8-inch screen here with Sync 3, but not overall. But yeah, you can definitely tell that some of the interior quality of this is not really, you know, much older and doesn't feel as good as the new Mustang that we have nowadays, the S650. But overall, a great cockpit, really nice visibility. Still, Recaro seats feel fantastic. They snug your head, they snug you right nice in your seat. But of course, we got the AC outlets. Before we go on, let's go ahead and get this Mustang started. Let's go ahead and make sure that's neutral. Go ahead and press our start button, which is right there. Oof, such a nice sounding Mustang there. Let's go ahead and straighten out the wheel. Just a quick recap here of this interior. Of course, we got your 8-inch Sync 3 system here. We got your toggle switches, dual zone AC. I don't see this. Do we have heated seats in the front? I don't see that. I don't see the switches for this one here. More of a base Mach 1, but we got, of course, your auxiliary gauge right here. We got oil pressure and air vacuum. Here we got your glove box right there. As you can see, we got the Mach 1 badge and your kind of double bin of the interior, 12-inch screen, as you can see there. We got the leather covered steering wheel, no paddles or anything like that. Of course, you get the paddles when you get the 10-speed automatic. But coming down here, well, we got basically your toggle switches of hazards. We do have drive modes as well. Let's go ahead and now we got the car on. Yes, I know we got that on, but of course we got different modes as well. We got normal, sport, plus. Kind of probably just leave it. We got drag strip as well, so we're gonna just probably put it in snowing wet and normal. We'll put it on Sport Plus just to give us a bit of a performance. And before we go on, let's go ahead and close the door up because it's getting a little bit warm here in Central Florida. But before we close the door, let's go ahead and hear this normally aspirated V8. Ooh, definitely sounds like an aftermarket exhaust, but man, that is such a good sounding. Oh, I love the sound of that V8. So now that we close the door, as you can see, we got a pretty decent interior still. This older Mustang, we got a nice 12-inch gauge cluster, your 8-inch screen here, which I mentioned got Sync 3. We have navigation as well, and this one that's equipped with that, as you can see. As far as the entertainment, we got 6 or 7, no, about 8 speakers in this one. As I mentioned, this one does not have the optional Harman Kardon stereo, but does sound pretty good though, as you can see. And then of course, as I mentioned, to Sony AC, we got your toggle switches, drive modes down here. We got a USB port, 12-port connection, 6-speed automatic manual transmission, cup holders where my phone is, your parking brake right there. Center console here has just another USB port and a 12-port connection. But overall, guys, pretty good. As you can see, we got pretty decent visibility. We got your rear mirror, nothing else here on top except for the lights. Home blink as well there. I like that the headliner is done in black. But overall, guys, here's the interior of this Mach 1, which is not bad. But of course, this car is basically done to handle. Let's go ahead, guys. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and go out for a test drive. Let's lower down the volume just a little bit. Let's go ahead and engage. We gotta press this up here a little bit and engage our reverse camera. As you can see, we got a nice reverse camera there with some nice graphics and some trajectory lanes, but no sensors at all on this one, as I can see. Let's go ahead and go forward. Now, as you can see, we got this 8-ball shifter, which feels great, and that comes from, if I'm correct, from the Bullet Mustang, which kind of similar package to this one here, the original the Bullet to this Mach 1, but obviously this is a little bit differently set up. But overall, a fantastic feeling Mustang. And of course, you see the hood is quite higher than stock. It's big butcher for the air extractors, as you can see there. So wow, this thing does feel fantastic though. Oof, what a nice car. This just feels planted to the ground even at this low speed. Then the brakes, yeah, the brakes just feel nice and solid to these Brembos. So yeah, the suspension is stiff. You can tell this is definitely a stiff suspension, but this is the way this gentleman set up this car. Not, you know, for straight line speed, but for road course, and it just feels good. It's got a lot of suspension parts from the GT500, you know, knuckles and all that kind of stuff. You got the front and rear front bushings, all kinds of great suspension parts that were basically put into this Mustang Mach 1. Big brakes, 15-inch rotors in the front. You know, you got this one here, it's got stainless steel brake lines. You got a much more stiff suspension. The Recaro seat you can get in this one, the Tremec. This is just an overall fantastic package that Ford built. Let's go ahead, guys, and go. As you can see here, this turning here is just so flat. I mean, wow, it's the leather grip on this car. You can tell it's just fantastic. That's why it's got like an aftermarket intake in here. Unfortunately, I haven't seen it, but this thing does feel great though. Let's adjust my mirror a little bit here. Yeah, I can tell the suspension is different, but man, this thing was right so good. It's pretty compliant though. And we give it a gas here. Oof, this thing sounds nice. And the brakes, wow, the brakes are even more amazing. My God, this thing brakes so good. It's like a boom. Oh yeah, wow. Yeah, this thing feels great. Oh man. Oof. Yeah, this definitely, the suspension is definitely, you can see where the money's spent in this thing. Thing just grips. A lot of grip from those Michelin. As you can see, we got the auto lift here for the shifts or the downshifts. My God, this is a great Mustang. Obviously, this is, you can tell this doesn't have, you know, any nothing like that. They haven't done anything to the engine, but it's got plenty of power, and just the suspension feels so planted. Oh my God, this thing is just, this is my cup of tea of Mustang. You know, just the handling. It surprised me how, you know, a few years ago you couldn't get a Mustang really to handle that great unless you spend a lot of money on it. But nowadays, wow, this thing is amazing. Let's give it a little bit of go here. No cups. Of course, there's a little bit of tram lining here with these big wheels and tires. Obviously, you gotta put your hands on the wheel because they're nice and thick and low profile. So, but wow, this thing feels so good though. This thing just planted. It feels like a race car. The level of grips and the steering feels so good and direct. Yeah, with these wheels and tires set up, and you know, obviously, I don't know all the suspension settings, everything has been changed, but wow, they did a fantastic job. My hat off to the former owner. who had this. I'm surprised they traded this thing in. It's a lot of good modifications in this car. This thing just feels planted. Oh my, woof, it's like a race car. And of course, the fantastic note of this Coyote V8. Wow, this thing is just amazing. Ooh, nice little Cardinal going by there. Yeah, the suspension is stiff. I'm sorry the camera's gonna be bouncing, guys, but yes, it is quite stiff. And my stop it in neutral here. It's fantastic. Of course, you're going to be careful not to do some Mustang things and watch out for crowds. Wow, things, oh, that noise, so, oh, it's eargasm to the ears. Absolutely love this thing. Just feels so good. You know, I drive a BMW 3 Series at 335 with a manual, and obviously the suspension in this is way better than my BMWs, because obviously this is just set up so good for the road. It's just so stable. I mean, this thing is just, you can tell, look how this is just like a race car. Wow, the level of grip on this thing is amazing. Absolutely great job they did with the suspension tuning of this car. I mean, obviously they must have spent at least $3,000 or $4,000 on the suspension setup on this, not even including the wheels and tires. The brakes feel great, right? Immense grip. You know, they're very the brake pedal is very progressive as well, but it's got a really strong bite to the initial bite. Wow, very impressive car. Obviously you can tell they really haven't messed with the power. It does definitely feel stock. The exhaust might be aftermarket, but I can't even tell either. It doesn't sound obnoxiously loud, but it's got that perfect tone where you give it a little gas, and just the throttle response is fantastic too. Oh man, and yeah, this just feels so planted. Wow, what an impressive car. The hood itself, I mean, I probably wouldn't edit my personal self, but obviously it gives a little more air, you know, more air extraction out of the big V8. But what a great car this is. Wow, impressive Mustang. Let me know, guys, what you think of this Mustang, the way it looks, the way it's set up. I mean, obviously you can feel it, but there's quite a bit of suspension in this car for sure, and it feels fantastic, man. The brakes and the tire setup, for me, that's what I prefer, handling and brakes. For me, that's the best thing to have in a Mustang, or any car basically, but it's particularly a Mustang that's like this. Might not be the fastest, but man, this sure, it's got a lot of grip. 275s in the front, 315s in the back. Just gives you immense, I mean, just mechanical grip. Let's go. Easy modulation of the clutch. Not here to explore any speed limits here, but this gets pretty easy up to speed. But this car just feels so grounded. I mean, it's really impressive. That's why I love this, you know, aftermarket suspension, and this really works. Of course, you got independent suspension, the big brakes, you know, a lot of this is basically, I'm ready to head down to Sebring, just about 40 miles away, and do some lap times in that historic 12 hours of Sebring track. But oh, we got away from some pretty good amount of traffic. But let me know what you guys think of this modified Mustang. I mean, the way it looks is fantastic. You can't go wrong with that. The wheels, 20-inch wheels. Although 20-inch wheels seem a little bit big for this car in terms of handling, but they look fantastic though. I would probably go maybe with some 19-inch wheels to save a little bit of weight. But they do look fantastic, definitely. Easy transmission, clutch. Wow, yeah, what a fun car. This thing must be a hoot on the autocross too, because it's such a small car. I mean, it's not a big car, but the grip in this is just impressive. But yeah, this is a fantastic, you know, car for Sebring, VIR, wherever you want to go. But all right, guys, in conclusion, I really like the Mustang Really awesome setup that the former owner did, whoever he was or she was. They did a great job with this car. I'll be honest, it just feels so good, so stable, way better than my BMW. It's stock, but man, this thing just feels so planted. I absolutely love this car. But there we go, guys. 2021 Ford Mustang Mach 1, 6-speed manual, a little bit modified. It looks fantastic. Let me know what you think, guys. Thank you so very much for watching. If you made it this far into the video, I really appreciate it. Have a fantastic day, and we'll see you in the next video. One more thing, if you guys want to check out the full reviews of this car in automatic and in 6-speed manual, check my channel, browse my channel, or I'll leave links in the description below. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.